are
Doing the
getting
same
some of
thing.
these girls.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't believe me, y'all could go to Pornhub, type in the word African in there and see what comes up. And you may not see sex slaves, but you'll see something not too damn far off from it. You know what happened a week ago, Brandon?
Go ahead.
Now, I'm about to say this. It's against one of my rules, but I'm about to say it.
Okay.
I was listening to a pastor that I listened to on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
They in Alexandria, Virginia, and is doing a fasting,
Mm-hmm.
and all the money raised to this fasting is going to help a person.
Okay.
So I mailed a check for $500, Brandon. Guess why I mailed a check for?
Why?
Because they could buy a black girl from being a sex slave, Brandon.
Mm. So how do you feel about that? Do you
Did you hear me, Brandon?
I heard you.
I paid $500.
Did you know
so
that?
These people,
did you know that?
Yeah, I knew that.
Okay.
So these people in Ghana could go to the market and buy a young girl so she won't get shipped in the Middle East and Europe.
So do
to be having sex.
Right. So do the laws in Ghana like that? I didn't even understand, because you sent me a text about the government knowing about stuff like this. Correct? Is that
you see my source? You see at the bottom?
Yeah.
U.S. Department of State.
Yeah. So clearly, like, I don't know. It's not like we don't know this stuff exists around the world, but what can we do about it? Like, what if that's all they know and it's okay and that's normal for them? If you grow up in that, what do you? I mean,
nah.
But go ahead.
Ghana is when I say the word Ghana, you know exactly. You may not know the location, but you know exactly what I'm talking about, right?
I do. But why are we letting that happen then? Why? Go ahead.
It shows the problem what's wrong with black people.
Mm-hmm.
The year is 2023.
Right.
They are still selling men and women, boys and girls for forced labor and sex slaves in the Middle East and Europe.
Right.
The United States are completely knows what's going on. They even have numbers, but nobody's coming to save nobody.
But are they profiting off this? Like, why not? Like, they try to how much money did we give Ukraine? And we can't even do anything about this. It's like, are our hands dirty? Is it more secrets that we don't know about like that? I mean, I'm not even saying this is a secret, but
don't even blame the U.S. How about the black folks in Ghana? Why?
Or the ones that come over here and look down upon us for not doing what we do? Let us know about stuff like this that's going on that you know about that you don't even speak about. Like, I don't know how you feel about people over there, but they're still. Do you find a connection? Like I think we've talked about that before. Like, do you have a connection like that?
I found a connection. This me thinking about it. I cried last week thinking about the little girls getting sold.
Yeah, that's right.
In the middle, because guys are nasty, and you know what they doing to them girls, Brandon.
Right. And like I said, I have a daughter, so my heart goes out to people like that. And like I said, we try not to think about that, but we can't just ignore it and act like it's not really going on when we know it is. And the U.S. knows it's going on too.
Now, this is from the State Department. Traffickers lure Nigeria women and girls to Ghana with the purpose of good jobs and converts them into commercial sex to pay, what's that word, Brandon? Exorbitant debts for transportation and login. Traffickers also expect some Ghana and Nigerians, labor immigrants, in commercial sex and demand more money for transit and document costs. Women and children are forced into sex trafficking in the Middle East, Brandon, Europe, and Western Africa. Now, per Dr. Clyde Anderson said the first people who started to explore Africa in slavery was people in the Middle East.
Mm.
And if you want to see examples of exploiting now, go to Egypt and see Arabian East people thinking they built the pyramids, which is a lie. Go to the Egypt and look at the artifacts and the hieroglyphics, and they showed black people as the
Right.
kings and queens.
Right.
Go to Egypt and look at the hieroglyphics when the Arabian people took over, and they drew pictures that look like Arabian people.
Mm-hmm.
So they was drawing who they saw. Black people had no shirts on with a whole bunch of jewelry. When the Arabians took over, they showed Arabian people with long clothes and cloths.
Yeah.
The same shit the same
Wearing
dress
now.
they wearing now. Exploitation, Brandon. And these people are going to the Middle East, Brandon. They're going to Europe. And watch this at the bottom. You see those 3 red dots?
Mm-hmm.
Italian, Germany is some of the destinations these girls go to.
Yeah. And a lot
And
of people don't like to talk about that kind of stuff. And it's like it's supposed to be hush hush. And the US knows about it. A lot of countries know about it. A lot of high profile men like to do this. They like to go over there and have fun like this. And it's disgusting. We gotta end this kind of stuff. It's like I say, it's 2023 and we still got this going on. Do people want it to stop? No, they don't want it to stop.
And if you won't get sold into slack slave, this is what they do in Ghana. They'll take that person and tell them you need to work in the mines to dig up gold.
Right.
You need to work on a boat to fish to get fish, and we're gonna pay you 2 cents.
Right.
You know,
Right. And they have to do it. It's just part of how they see the world. Like, because that's all they know. It's either I'm gonna be a slave or I'm gonna be working over here for no money at all. Or I'm being a sweatshop, or I'm going to be making stuff for Americans or richer people. And this is what all I have to aspire to.
So, in my opinion, black folks got something in a hold on. I'm going to say this right. For the past 1,000 years, black folks got something in them that we ain't going to fight nobody else. But if we see another person, if we see our father, our mother, our sister, our cousin, our neighbor that look like us, we'll rag that person out.
Yeah. And we got to get away from that.
Rag them out. And this is the motherland. A lot of people, if you go to any place in America, me, a person from Africa, a lot of people come from Ghana. But they don't say nothing about this.
Yeah. And like I said, we kind of know this stuff go on. You hear a story here or there on Facebook or the internet or whatever, but nobody's going to do anything about it.
Well, we got to do something about it. Obviously, the U.S. is looking at the numbers. The Middle East is getting this cheap labor or getting these young girls out there to do what they want to do. And so places and our NATO allies are getting some of these girls. And if you don't believe me, y'all could go to Pornhub, type in the word African in there and see what comes up. And you may not see sex slaves, but you'll see something not too damn far off from it.
Speaking of that, my daughter wanted to look up some African dances. So I was like, well, let me look on YouTube and see what I could find. So we found some African dances. How about it was a lot of nudity on there, like breast out, everything.
Yes.
Is that should that be something that's allowed on YouTube? Because it's cultural. Go ahead.
Brandon, YouTube and Facebook pick the winners and losers.
Okay.
Our channel get flagged for crazy stuff. But I could go to Facebook and YouTube and see somebody get killed.
Right. Over and over and over again.
Over and over again. I can see naked people over and over. I can see, and this ain't National Geographic.
Right.
This naked people in Walmart. You know what I mean? You know, so they pick and choose who gonna win, who gonna lose.
Correct.
That's why we need to start bringing our apples to the train, and we need to get our own train.
Correct.
And the apples.
Correct.
So, you want me to go to something else, Brandon?
Yeah, let me do.